watching Quad Cities Live.
Using the sun to power your home or business, and you can save thousands of dollars in energy costs by making the switch. We are asking the experts this week, and Jim Pullen, as the president and CEO of Eagle Point Solar, is joining us now. Jim, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, lots to chat about when it comes to solar power, because I feel like there's just a lot that people don't know, right? Unless they're you and they're involved in this heavily every single day. There's a lot of questions out there. But let's start with a little background on your business, Eagle Point Solar, and how you got started, because you've been at this for a number of years now.
We have. So our business was started in 2010. I've been there now for about 13 out of the 14 years.
Wonderful.
So I am the veteran. We started a little business in Dubuque, Iowa with a small crew. Today we work in Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. We've got about 110 employees, give or take.
Wonderful.
And Quad Cities is a busy area for us.
Yes, absolutely is. And we are into October now. So fall and winter months, are these a good time to consider making the switch to solar?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is a misunderstanding about our industry is we don't build solar in the winter. Our business now is a 12-month business, and we install every month of the year. Obviously, we live in the Midwest. There are days in the middle of winter where it's too cold, there's too much snow. But when people are thinking about installing solar, there's really no reason to wait.
Right.
If your thought is we don't install in the winter, we do. The other advantage of installing in the winter is your system's installed, your system is ready to go, and then the long days of spring and summer, when the production of the solar array increases and is at its peak, you can take full advantage of that,
right,
instead of waiting till spring and then we miss part of the really good production season.
Well, yeah, I was gonna, and I was reading about that as well. I mean, it can take a little bit to get started. I mean, there's permitting and things that need to happen. So just because you've decided that you want to make the switch to solar doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight anyways.
Correct. So we, on every installation, we work with the utility. They all have a process to interconnect your system. There are local permitting bodies that we have to deal with. We have to get the equipment, obviously. The second part of it is we're fairly busy. We've got a pretty full schedule.
I bet.
So we're some number of weeks out as well. So you are correct. This is not a snap your fingers and we're at your home installing.
Okay, so as you had mentioned, we are living in the Midwest here. So people have, questions, I'm sure, in regards to how efficient is solar, in those winter months.
Yep.
I think there's probably some misconceptions there.
There is. Actually, the equipment itself, so the solar modules or panels, and then the inverters that we use to convert the DC energy to AC, they actually are more efficient in the winter. They're like any other electronic device. They don't like to be overheated.
Okay.
So when they're producing in the winter, they're very efficient and produce a substantial amount of electricity.
Perfect.
The only reason we get less production overall in the winter versus the summer is the days are just shorter, right? Now we wake up and it's dark and we go home from work and it's dark, so the days are shorter.
Don't remind us, right? Okay, so we hear a lot about solar and perhaps hearing more about it than we actually see it. That doesn't mean that it's not everywhere.
Yes.
In fact, you have gotten so good at making it look like it's not everywhere.
We try. Yeah. Obviously, when everybody has their own idea of whether it looks good or it doesn't look good, but we consistently talk to people who don't realize their neighbor has it, maybe their employer has it. We, as one company in the market, have about 4,000 installations. And again, in a lot of cases, they're up on the roof and you just don't see them. So it's around you, and we're getting busier every day. So it's here. Some people will say, well, I don't ever see it. It must not be good. That really is not true.
That is not the case. Okay, so let's talk about electric vehicles now and how solar really is like playing into the growth of EVs, and those two things can work together quite well.
They do. So we do a number of EV charging station installs, particularly for individual residences. And the way that they fit together is, instead of having to go buy gas, right? If you have an EV at home, and we know that you have an EV at home, we make the solar array large enough to not only power your home, but also allow you to charge your EV. So at the end of the day, you're really charging the EV at a very economical rate, even better than just using utility energy in order to charge the EV. So you really get the best of both worlds.
You really do. Saving a lot of money doing that as well. Okay, so this is Ask the Experts week after all. So talk a little bit about why Eagle Point Solar is really considered an expert in all of this.
Well, one of the things we truthfully believe is, if you are considering solar, remember you're investing in something that's going to last you for 25, 35, or 40 years. You want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence on the company behind the installation. Unfortunately, there's a lot of companies coming into and leaving our market in solar because it is an active market. And all we ask is, just make sure you're asking questions about the company. You know, again, I think we have a good track record. We have a lot of customers.
You welcome the questions.
We do, and we don't have anything to hide, and all we would ask is make sure anybody that you're talking to is not hiding anything either.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, and so finally, for people considering making the switch, you can also get them an analysis quote.
We can. So our process is designed to make sure that we end up with a good solution for the customer. All of the things that we do prior to an installation are free of charge. They can reach out to us. We're going to ask them for electric bills. We are going to go through and ask them a number of questions. And our process really, it's not short, but it's very effective. And there is no charge for any of that to figure out whether solar works for you or not.
Amazing. So you don't need to be scared to give them a call. If you want to sign up for that free solar analysis quote, or if you simply want to learn more about the process of switching to solar, visit eaglepointsolar.com. You can also follow the business on social media for any upcoming events and future promotions. Jim, thank you so much for being here today and answering all of our questions.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Well, coming up on QC.